Maruti, Mahindra, Tata and Hyundai are the top 4 car manufacturers in the country. When it comes to electric cars, Mahindra has been around for a couple of years. They gave us the e-Tour more than a decade ago. More recently, they launched the XUV 400 and a couple of born electric SUVs. Tata Motors, which is currently the #1 electric car brand in India, launched the Nexon EV back in 2020. They followed it with electric versions of Tiago, Tigor, Punch, Curve and the Harrier. Talking about Hyundai, they gave us the Kona EV back in 2019 and more recently they launched the Creta EV at the Bharat Mobility Show earlier this year. We are soon going to enter 2026, yet we do not have an electric car from India's #1 car manufacturer Maruti Suzuki. That is all set to change with the all-new Maruti eVitara. Made in India at the Suzuki Motor Plant in Gujarat, Maruti has not yet launched the eVitara in India, so we do not know what the prices are. What we do know that the production has already started at Suzuki Motor Plant in Gujarat, which is from where Maruti is exporting this car to over 100 countries around the world. Launch in India is going to happen very soon. Ahead of that, we have got a chance to take a test drive of eVitara and tell you all about it. Let's get started.
Starting with the design, the front looks modern and futuristic, but it's not overdone or too aggressive. The bonnet has these deep cuts on both sides, which give the car a nice muscular stance. Up front, you get full LED headlights with LED DRLs, and these DRLs also double up as turn indicators. In the center, there's this thick piano black panel with a large Suzuki logo, which looks quite premium. The lower bumper is finished in black, and right in the middle, you can see the ADAS module with the front camera placed just above it. Fog lights sit lower down in the grille. An interesting detail here is the adaptive shutters. The key is pretty basic. You get lock and unlock buttons. If you press unlock once, only the driver door opens. To unlock all 4 doors, you just press the unlock button twice. This is actually a really good safety feature and something every car should have, especially when you are alone and don't want all 4 doors to unlock at once. From the side, the proportions look quite well balanced. The car is 4.75mm long with a 2700mm wheelbase, which means it sits right between Maruti SUVs like the Brezza and Grand Vitara. The charging port is placed neatly above the left front wheel, so it's easy to access while charging. You also get 18-inch dual-tone aero alloys with piano black inserts. The car runs on 225/55 section MRF Wanderer Eco Tread tires, and the tire sidewalls are well insulated. The auto-folding ORVMs come loaded with LED indicators, a camera for the side view, and blind spot indicators. You also get thick plastic cladding along the sides on the lower part, which adds to that tough SUV feel. If you look underneath, the underbody is nicely covered. This plate protects the BYD blade battery pack and it sits flush with the body, so nothing hangs low or sticks out from the side. Both front door handles get request sensors. The rear door handles are placed up here, similar to what we saw on the older Swift. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this placement and would have preferred conventional door handles, but I understand it's done to keep the side design clean. At the rear as well, you have disc brakes for improved braking performance, and the tire sidewall is nicely insulated to keep the road noise in check. This is how the rear of the car looks. You get a roof-mounted spoiler with an LED stop lamp, and the rear windscreen wiper is neatly placed here. The tail lamps are connected visually, but the LEDs themselves are only on the left and right sides. This center strip is not illuminated, and it's more for design continuity. These are the 3-point matrix-style tail lamps. Over here, you have the reverse light, and this section works as the turn indicator. In the center, you have the Suzuki logo with the eVitara branding. The E is finished in blue, clearly highlighting that this is an electric vehicle. The boot release is placed down here on the lower bumper. The tailgate is manually operated and does not get a powered function. This is how the boot space looks. We will take a closer look later in the video. The lower bumper looks nice and chunky. The number plate is placed right in the center with reflectors on either side. Just above the number plate, you have the rear camera. And this is how the underbody looks from the rear. Everything is neatly covered and well protected. Overall, the car looks good. The design is clean and subtle, so it blends in nicely with other cars on our roads.
The fit and finish is also quite good. Panel gaps are even and everything feels well put together. Moving inside, the cabin gets a dual tone black and brown theme. The door panels follow the same finish. The black part is hard plastic, while the brown section feels softer to the touch. Where you rest your arm, there's fabric with a bit of cushioning, which adds to the comfort on long drives. On the door, you have controls for adjusting the ORVMs and all 4 power windows. The good thing here is that Maruti has given one touch up and down for all 4 windows, which is really convenient. The windows also get a greenish tint like other Nexa cars to block UV rays and help keep the cabin cooler in hot weather. You also have the door lock and unlock button here, along with a small storage space that's quite handy for keeping things like coins, keys, etc. In the door pocket, you can easily fit a 1-liter bottle, along with a few other small items. The speaker is nicely integrated into the front door, and overall, the rubber lining, the fit and finish look clean. Nothing feels loose or out of place. The front door feels solid, and you get a nice reassuring thud when you shut it. The seats come in a dual tone finish with a mix of fabric and faux leather. They are quite comfortable and offer good support for your shoulders and neck. Both front seats are ventilated, but the controls are accessible via touchscreen. Honestly, it would have been nicer to have a physical button for seat ventilation. You get a 10-way power driver seat along with a height adjustable seat belt. These are useful features for getting that perfect driving position. Now, from the driver's seat, this is how the steering wheel looks. It's a 2-spoke unit with soft touch leather wrapping and stitching, and it feels quite premium in hand. On this side, you have controls for voice commands, audio, and the driver display, where you can check things like trip info and other details. The horn sits neatly in the center with Suzuki logo. Over here, you get cruise control along with ADAS controls. Talking about the screens, what you get here is a single panel, but it houses 2 different displays inside. The instrument cluster is a large 26cm screen that shows all the important information like speed, drive mode, connected devices, battery range, average consumption, ADAS alerts, and trip details. You can also change the UI of this display. There are 3 different themes on offer, and you can select them directly from the center touchscreen. The touchscreen infotainment system is slightly smaller, at around 25.6 centimeters, but the display quality is really good with sharp resolution. You get built-in navigation along with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The music system is from Infinity and it sounds quite good. You can control the AC directly from the touchscreen, and there are also physical buttons just below it, which makes things easier while driving. ADAS settings can also be accessed from this screen, so most of the important functions are neatly packed into one place. In the lighting settings, you'll find the adaptive high beam function. When this is switched on, the headlights automatically adjust the light direction so that oncoming drivers are not blinded. You can also access features like tire pressure monitoring system, battery usage data, trip meters, anti-theft settings, voice guidance controls, footwell and ambient lighting from here. The region level can also be adjusted via touchscreen. For single pedal driving, there's a dedicated button placed next to the drive mode selector. Coming to the 360-degree camera, it can be activated using this view button located behind the steering wheel. The overall camera quality is decent and gets the job done, though a slightly higher resolution would have made it even better. If you look closely, the touchscreen is not placed exactly in the center. It's slightly towards the driver. While this may look a bit uneven at first, it's actually done intentionally so that the driver can reach and use the screen more easily without leaning forward. The star button on the steering wheel can be customized to open any function you want from the touchscreen. Behind the steering wheel, you have the stalks for lights and wipers. The car gets automatic headlights and rain sensing wipers for both front and rear. Up here, you get an auto dimming IRVM, cabin lights, and an SOS button for emergencies. The sun visors feel premium with soft touch material and come with a mirror, but there is no light. Also, when you pull them towards the window, they don't extend, so a bit more sun protection would have been nice. You also get a glass roof, but it doesn't open. The cover is operated manually. The start button is placed here, just behind the steering wheel. You press the brake, hit start, and the touchscreen shows a live 360-degree camera view. It's actually a very useful safety feature, especially in tight parking spaces. The dashboard also gets a nice dual tone finish. The top part is hard plastic, while this brown section is soft touch with a bit of texture. So
it feels premium. The AC vents are rectangular and gets a polished metal finish around them. Thankfully, sound and AC controls are physical buttons, so they are easy to use while driving. Down here, you also get a wireless charger and two cup holders for everyday convenience. Here on the center console, you get this circular gear selector. Along with it are buttons for drive modes and single pedal driving. You can switch between eco and sports modes using this button here. To shift into drive or reverse, you press the edge of this dial down and rotate it in the direction shown. For neutral, you just press it down without rotating. There's also a separate button for park. One thing to note here, selecting park or neutral does not automatically engage the electronic parking brake. You'll need to activate it manually using this button placed just below. Right next to it, you also have the auto hold function. The center armrest is finished in brown, feels well cushioned and is comfortable to rest your arm on. You also get decent storage space inside. The front passenger seat is not powered like the driver's seat, but that's not really a deal breaker. Under the center console, you get a nice little storage area where you can keep your phone, keys or wallet. The 12-volt socket along with USB Type-A and Type-C charging ports are placed here, making it a bit difficult to access. The glove box gets a soft open function and offers decent storage space for your documents and other essentials. Moving to the rear seat, the doors get a similar treatment as the front, with good storage spaces and soft touch padding where you rest your arm. In terms of space, there's decent legroom and headroom back here. The front passenger seat gets a seat back pocket where you can store a laptop, tablet or newspapers, though the driver's seat back doesn't get one. In the center, you have rear AC vents along with a phone holder and both Type-A and Type-C charging ports. The rear seats also get slide and recline functions, so you can adjust them for extra comfort. To access center armrest, you need to fold down the middle seat backrest. It gets cup holders and also gives you access to the boot. One thing I noticed is that when the seat is fully reclined, my arm doesn't rest perfectly on the armrest. Another thing I would like to highlight is that ingress and egress is something you'll need to get used to, especially if you're tall. I am about 5'11" and the first few times I got in, both in the front and the rear, my head actually brushed the roof. So you do need to be a bit careful while getting in or out. Another thing I noticed is the floor to seat height. For taller passengers, it feels slightly low, which means a lot of your thigh weight ends up resting on your knees. That's fine for short drives, but on longer journeys, it could get a bit uncomfortable. Talking about boot space, it's not very generous. As you can see, we have put one cabin-sized suitcase, two backpacks and a small carry bag, and it already looks quite full. With the rear seats upright, boot space ranges between 238 to 306 liters, depending on where your seats are on the slider. The good thing is you can fold the rear seats flat when you need more space. You do get a parcel tray, a boot lamp, hooks to secure luggage, and a subwoofer placed here. The boot floor is finished in soft fabric, which is a nice touch and also helps with the cabin NVH. Under here, you'll find the charging cable, tire change kit, and an 18-inch spare wheel. And this is something worth appreciating. It's a full-size alloy spare with the same tire size as the other four wheels. Since the boot is on the smaller side, you might expect some storage space up front, especially because this is an EV. But that's not the case. Let me open the bonnet and show you. The bonnet itself feels quite solid and heavy, which is a good thing. Once you open it, you can see the electric motor setup, the battery, and all the high voltage wiring neatly packed in here. But unfortunately, there's no frunk or extra storage space available. So whatever luggage you are carrying will have to go in the boot or cabin. Maruti is offering the eVitara with two battery options, a 49 kWh and a larger 61 kWh. The one we are driving is the 61 kWh version, which claims an ARA range of 543 km. In real world, expect the eVitara to deliver over 400 km of range in most use cases. In international markets, there's also a dual motor all-wheel drive version on offer. But in India, Maruti is only offering front-wheel drive variants for now. The driving position is quite good. You get a clear view of the road and your surroundings. I've kept the seat at its lowest setting and I can still see the bonnet clearly. The A-pillars don't block my view much either, which really helps while driving through tight spaces. And when needed, the blind spot monitor on the ORVMs comes in handy. The Maruti eVitara is actually fun to drive. Throttle response is quick and acceleration feels effortless. The steering is responsive too, which makes the highway overtakes very easy. But you do need to keep an eye on the speedometer, because the car picks up speed so smoothly that you won't even realize when you are overspeeding. At higher speeds, the steering gains good weight, which adds confidence. And in the city, at low speeds, it stays light and easy to use, making the car very comfortable to maneuver, just like you'd expect from a Maruti. Once you start driving in triple-digit speeds, you do hear some wind and road noise entering the cabin. The front windshield is acoustic glass, which does help cut down some of that noise. But if the side windows were also acoustic, the cabin would have felt quieter at higher speeds. Driving in city traffic and over bad roads is actually impressive. Ground clearance is good, and not even once did we scrape the underbody, even on rough patches. The suspension is a bit on the stiffer side, which is something we have seen with most EVs. You do feel the road undulations, especially for rear seat passengers. It's not uncomfortable, but you are aware of the road beneath you. At higher speeds, the car feels stable and well in control. However, sudden hard braking doesn't inspire a lot of confidence, even though it gets disc brakes on all four wheels. That said, in normal city driving, the brakes work very well. They are smooth, progressive, and bring the car to a halt without any jerks, which is exactly what you want for daily traffic. As you can see, the level 2 ADAS features work really well. We have switched on adaptive cruise control with the lane keep assist on this busy highway, and the system handles things very smoothly. Talking about safety, Maruti eVitara has scored a 5-star Bharat NCAP safety rating. To sum it up, the Maruti eVitara is a very easy car to live with. It's comfortable, refined, and doesn't feel intimidating at all, even if you are new to electric cars. It drives well in the city, feels confident on the highways, and offers a usable real-world range that should work for most people. There are a few misses, like the small boot, no frunk, and slightly firm rear seat comfort, but overall, the eVitara feels well thought out. If you're looking for a practical, sensible electric SUV that's easy to adapt to and comes with modern tech and safety, the eVitara definitely deserves to be on your shortlist.
That is all we have to say about the new Maruti eVitara from its first drive here in New Delhi. We hope you liked the video. Thank you for watching.